Hello, comic book lovers, and welcome to another edition of Rorschach's Comics. And we have returned you back in the Rorschach studio for another budget production. So, alright, today we're going to talk about The Killing Joke. Now, before we get into our review, I want to start out by plainly saying that this book, the animated movie that was made that's based off of it, and probably this review video, are not suitable for children. Now, I'm not going to go into deep detail of some of the more adult-themed aspects of this book. We're going to talk a little bit about what goes on, but there are some things that, I'm not going to put on here. You go, you read it, you see it for yourself. So, it gets a little graphic, a little gory. It's very adult-oriented. Into the book. So, it was originally written in 1988 by Alan Moore and illustrated by Brian Boland. Now, for those of you that remember our League of Extraordinary Gentlemen video, and if you don't, you should go watch it after this, you will remember that I don't really care for Alan Moore's work. This book was a notable exception, but for those of you familiar with Alan Moore, he likes to put weird stuff in his book. This book was no exception. The book starts off with Batman visiting the Joker in Arkham Asylum. He has come here to try and talk some sense into the Joker. He feels that if they continue down their path, one of them is eventually going to end up killing the other, if not both of them. So he has come to try and convince the Joker to turn from the dark side, if you will. Well, in the midst of his conversation, he discovers that the man he's talking to is in fact not the Joker, but an imposter wearing makeup. We flash forward a few days to the apartment of Barbara Gordon, who has her father, Commissioner Jim Gordon, over for lunch. There's a knock at the door. Barbara answers, seeing it's the Joker, and bang! The Joker fires a bullet into her waist, paralyzing her. The Joker's goons go in, beat Gordon senseless, carry him out, while the Joker begins to undress and take photos of Barbara. Now, she asks why he's doing this, and he simply states, to prove a point. We see that the Joker has his goons take Gordon to an abandoned amusement park where the henchmen strip him naked and he is forced to ride a hellish carnival ride where the Joker explains that his entire goal in this is to prove that even the best of people can be driven mad just by one bad day. And in the midst of this talk, Gordon is forced to see the photos of Barbara laying naked on the floor with the bullet hole and blood on her. So, in the midst of all this, Batman receives an invitation from the Joker, letting them know just where they're at. He arrives at the amusement park. First, he frees Gordon, who tells him that he wants the Joker brought in, and he wants him brought in by the book, because, to quote Gordon, we have to prove to him that our way still works. Batman says he will try, and he goes after the Joker. The Joker explains to him that, yeah, I'm just trying to prove that we're all just one bad day away from going mad. And he becomes enraged when Batman tells him that his plan has failed, as Gordon is still completely sane. Joker pulls out a revolver, goes to shoot Batman, and a little flag that says bang comes out of the gun instead of a bullet. He realizes he's grabbed the wrong gun, throws it down, throws himself to the ground and says, all right, go ahead, beat the hell out of me, get your standing ovation. To which Batman replies, no, I don't want to, and I'm bringing you in by the book. And he has the conversation with him that he meant to have with him at the asylum, where he pleads with him to give up and try to reform, try to be a good person before they kill each other. The Joker responds that it's far too late for him now, that there's no coming back from the abyss he's thrown himself into. And he then tells Batman a joke. And surprisingly, Batman laughs. And not only does he laughs hysterically. He and the Joker laughing hysterically together. We see them put their hands on each other's shoulders, and then the next panel, all we see are their shadows. And the shadows, as the panels go on, become one. Now, the jury is still out as to whether they strangled each other or they hugged before the police arrived to take the Joker away. We're not really sure. That doesn't say. And we have to remember that when this book was originally written, it was intended to be an Elseworlds story. For those of you that remember Gotham by Gaslight, that's an Elseworlds story. These stories are not part of the main DC canon. However, many aspects of this book were brought into the main canon, specifically the Joker shooting and paralyzing Barbara. Getting into the movie version of the book, it was actually fairly decent. Instead of subtracting, they did more adding than anything else, which is rare for the animated movies. The main addition being that in the beginning we see Batman and Batgirl are trying to take down a group of arms dealers, the leader of whom is infatuated with Batgirl and has a huge crush on her. And then there's the infamous rooftop sex scene between Batman and Batgirl. But other than that, it was a fairly decent movie. We got to hear Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, reprise their voice roles as Batman and the Joker. So the book and the movie, I do recommend both of them. They are enjoyable, but again, they are not for children. They are for mature readers. I would say The Killing Joke for the mature Batman fan is a must-have. One of the interesting parts in it, we get to see some of the Joker's past life. He continuously has flashbacks throughout the book of now whether the flashbacks are real or not, because in them he has a wife who's pregnant with a child. But the Joker states himself that he remembers his past differently every time he thinks about it. So whether it's true or not, we don't know. We also see him as the Red Hood before becoming the Joker when he falls into the chemical vat and loses his mind. All right, with that, I think we're done for the day. Thanks for watching. Please click like and subscribe for more, and leave us a comment. Tell us what you'd like to see next. Have a good day. Bye.